Alright, so we're checking out another flashlight here from WUBEN. This is the H4, and this is basically for using on your head. You can see the headband here. You got a spotlight and a floodlight in the front and a red light on this one. So not much comes in the box. You get the flashlight itself with this stretchable headband, and it's adjustable in size. You get a lithium ion battery, and this one here is 1700 milliamp hours. And I'll show you how that goes in here in a second. Does charge via USB-C, does come with the USB-C cable for charging, and of course you get your user's guide, but we'll cover all the functions here in a second. But as you can see, the size of this battery is the same size as 3 AAA batteries, and this does allow for using either these lithium ion batteries, or you can pop this open, and you can see this chamber here. 3 AAA batteries. I did test that out with the different light functions that it does. I'm not really sure if it's that much difference in brightness. I'm sure the runtime is less. I'm just using standard rechargeable nickel metal hydride batteries, and they work fine in this. And do note that getting the batteries in and out here is very tight. So it was somewhat challenging getting the batteries out, putting them in. So I'm just going to be testing the standard lithium ion battery pack here for this video. Let's go ahead and pop this in. There we go, and then we'll just close this shut. And as you can see here, that's for closing the door for the battery, but this part here also does rotate down. So as you can see, if this is on your head, you can go down to almost a 90-degree angle. So if you want to look down at something, then you can direct the angle of the light to pretty much wherever you want. And just to go over the specs really quick here in terms of what they show on the box, it is 1.2 meter drop rated, IP68 waterproof, 66 meters in terms of the beam reach, and 800 lumens max, 15 lumens minimum. And in terms of the runtime, 2.3 hours to 90 hours. And here's the color temperature. You got 2 different lights on here, a spotlight and a floodlight and a red light. And there's the lumen levels for each of those in low, medium, and high, as well as the corresponding run times. So it looks like a maximum of, say, 33 hours, it looks like, on the spotlight and floodlight. And then there's the turbo mode, which is the 800 lumens max, but that'll only last 1 minute, and then it'll drop down to 350 lumens for 2.3 hours. Weighs 49 grams. 80 grams with the battery, and here are the dimensions. And you're looking again at the flashlight itself. Again, you get 2 buttons here. This is I think this is the spotlight button, and this is the floodlight button. You got your 2 lights here corresponding for the 2 buttons here. And then there's a LED here that shows you the battery level. I believe that when the battery is low, it'll start turning red. I think it'll be blue initially. And something on the bottom here, nothing on the side, just those 2 buttons. So just to turn the light on, you just press the button there. This is I'll demonstrate this outside in terms of the beam angle. The floodlight coverage angle is about 80 degrees, and the spotlight coverage angle is only about 10 to 20 degrees. So obviously this one's going to be more narrow. Press the button again to turn it off. Press this button to turn it on. I think the color temperature is more warm for the floodlight, and it's more white for the spotlight. If you long press the button, you'll get the red light. If you press the button again, it goes into the different SOS modes, beacon modes, etc. Long press to turn it off. So this red light here is actually very useful for those of you that maybe are doing astrophotography, for example, that doesn't mess with your eyes, and so you can won't readjust it to the brighter light. So this is a pretty useful light for those of you guys that are into that. So you get the different levels here. So when we first turn it on, it'll remember what it was on last. There's memory there, but then you can long press. I'll go to the next level. That's low, then it's medium, that's high, and then back down to low. So if we say leave it on high, when we turn it off, it should remember that. Back on high, so it's low and off. Same here for the spotlight or the floodlight. Long press to get to the higher lumen levels, etc. And then if you want the turbo, which will turn both on at the highest level, turn the light on and then double press Then you get the turbo, and both of them turn on. And then same over here. So it doesn't matter which button you use, you can turn on this one here, and then double press, and then you get the turbo mode. And that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll show how this works in real life. I'm gonna look under the hood of my car and see how useful this is in terms of illuminating the dark areas of the engine compartment. All right, so here I'm in the garage and got the light over in my head. Fits pretty good, pretty comfortable. Let's go ahead and out down. Now let's see how this light does to illuminate the engine bay. All right, we'll start off the floodlight first. Here's low. There's medium. Now I can see quite a bit with that. And there's high. So I can actually see quite a bit just on that. And it is a more wide, spread out light, so it kind of illuminates everything here. It's kind of more of an above the engine bay look here on high on the floodlight. All right, so now we'll try the spotlight. There's low, definitely narrow and not as bright, not that bright. Go to medium. Okay, it's definitely brighter, but a more narrow beam, so I got to kind of point where I'm looking at. Here's high. Yep. So if I'm kind of just focused on a certain section, that's definitely pretty bright, but it's definitely a narrower beam. All right, so turn that off, or let's go to the turbo mode. Double press. So this is with both of them on at 800 lumens max. And we get this, I think, for like a minute, and then it will go to a lower level, but it's not that much brighter. Definitely is brighter for sure, but not that much. I'm gonna bring the phone over here to the side of my head, kind of show you how this looks. You definitely see a lot of details on the turbo mode. Quite bright. I'd say it's adequate. If you're on the side of the road, need to do some engine diagnostics, I think this light would be totally fine. And I can sense that it's already starting to decrease its illumination, but still not too bad. Here's what the red light looks like. It's kind of a narrow beam. I can kind of point it at a spot. You can kind of see that. But yeah, it's definitely not super bright. In terms of usefulness, I think this here with the floodlight, this is probably the most useful. It's kind of more of a spread out light, and definitely, I think, bright enough. And I think the spotlight's a little bit brighter, but more concentrated. So it really kind of depends on what you're looking for. This would be totally fine. I don't think a turbo is necessarily needed. And I think this works pretty well for me. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Guys, any questions? Leave me in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.